Today we're going to be making pecan crusted chicken scallopini and fettuccine alfredo, of course vegan style. I'm going to start with the pecan crusted chicken first. So I'm going to go through the main ingredients there. First and foremost, a critical component of a delicious pecan crusted vegan style chicken scallopini is Gardein's chicken scallopini breasts. These are amazing. They're a great substitute for vegans and meat eaters alike. They only have 90 calories, 2 grams of fat, and 14 grams of protein, and they're delicious. We're gonna lightly pan fry this on a cast iron skillet, and we'll show you that in just a moment. It's gonna be delicious and crispy on the outside. But in order for that really crispiness to be there and that thick, breaded, almost fried chicken crust, we're gonna need to mix. We like to use whole wheat panko with pecans. Freshly crushed pecans, about half the amount of pecans as the whole wheat panko. So that's going to be your outer crust. In between that, you're going to use a flour mixture, and I prefer to mix like either a whole wheat flour or a white unbleached flour with like a garbanzo bean flour. It's a little bit more nutritional. So I do half and half of that, and then always season up your flour and your breading. So use your favorite seasonings. Thyme is a nice complement to a faux chicken dish. Of course, sea salt, fresh ground pepper, and then one of my favorite seasonings right now is the German barbecue spice mix. So we're going to use that in pretty much everything for this chicken dish. You want to make sure that your breading and your flour are well seasoned so that it's not too bland. And then over here I have an egg replacer mixture. That's really going to make everything stick together. And in this recipe we're going to be double dipping. We're going to go into the egg first, and we're going to go into the flour. It's best to start with semi-defrosted chicken because then it'll take much longer to cook on the inside when you're frying it, and the outside will get cooked a lot faster. So let's start with one breaded chicken scallopini, or non-breaded I should say. We're going to dip it in our egg mixture, and this can get really thick. So if you want to, see right here it's very thick. If you want to water it down some, just add water to your egg replacer mixture. Alright, this is going to be messy, so be prepared to have dirty hands or floury and breaded hands after this. Egg replacer, flour mixture, back in the egg replacer, and pecans and breadcrumbs. You could also do this recipe with pistachios, delicious pistachio crusted chicken. There you have the beautifully breaded pecan and whole wheat panko crusted chicken scallopini. Okay, so while I've been breading the chicken, I've also been boiling our noodles, and I like to use whole wheat fettuccine noodles. And of course this goes without saying, but all of the ingredients in this meal are organic, and if possible you should aim to use all organic products. So we've got our boiled whole wheat fettuccine noodles, and the best kind of oil for the fried chicken is safflower. You can use coconut oil or others, but it gets very expensive to use coconut oil to fry using the amount of oil that you need here. And also recommended is a cast iron skillet. They're the best for frying and really for everything. And we're not deep frying here, we just want about 1/4 inch of oil in the pan. Alright, so the next part of the dish, while we're waiting for our chicken oil to heat up, is going to be the fettuccine, the Alfredo sauce. This is definitely my favorite. We're going to start by taking our Earth Balance butter, of course the organic kind, and we're going to saute that up with 2 cloves of garlic and about 1/2 cup of onion in a pan. I'm going to show you what kind of comprises our fettuccine sauce. This is organic silken tofu, and we're going to blend that up in our Vitamix blender. We have Mimic cream, which you can order online, and certain natural food stores carry them. Or you can just use like any non-dairy creamer. This will help keep this tofu a little bit smoother. It'll be great to blend with, and at the same time it'll keep the thickness. And then we're gonna throw some vegan grated Parmesan in the mix as well to give it a little bit of the Parmesan-y flavor. But we won't need to put too much in there because the garlic and the onion will give it that tanginess that you would normally get from cheese. And then, of course, Herbamar, which is one of my favorite seasonings. It's organic and it's an herb seasoning salt. And that's going to go in afterwards, about a teaspoon of that to taste. So let's get started. First, let's put our chicken in the pan because I think it's ready to go. We've got it at about medium-high right now. And depending on how big your pan is, might be able to fit all 4 pieces. We're going to get about 3 of them in there at once. While our chicken is frying up, we're going to do, I don't really measure here, about 2 tablespoons of First Balance butter. And we're going to saute our garlic and onion. Like I said, we used about a half a cup of onion and 2 cloves of garlic. And we're going to let that get nice and caramelized there. So it's been about 3 minutes or so, and we're going to go ahead and flip the chicken over. It smells delicious. It's nice and crispy on the other side, and you can feel the inside of it is getting a lot softer. So we're going to let that go while we are blending up our fettuccine sauce for another 3 to 4 minutes or so. It's been about 5 to 7 minutes. We're going to go ahead and take our faux fried chicken out of the pan, put it on a paper towel dish. So I've added our entire container of silken tofu to the Vitamix blender. Now I'm going to add half a cup of non-dairy creamer. Like I said, I'm using the Mimic cream. It's going to give it a nice, smooth, fettuccine-like texture. Now I'm taking our vegan grated Parmesan flavor and doing, whoa, about a tablespoon and a half. About a tablespoon. And then we're going to probably do about a teaspoonful of the Herbamar, but it's really all to your taste. You can get very creative here. You can put whatever kind of seasoning you'd like to complement that with. And then, of course, we're going to add the onion and the garlic that we just sauteed into the blender as well. And this has got the nice butter there that's built up down at the bottom here, so we're going to get all of that deliciousness in there. This is not a health food per se. It is all organic and it is all vegan, but if you're on a restricted vegan diet, this isn't the way to necessarily lose a ton of fat. But it is delicious and we can indulge every now and again. So this doesn't look like anything, but we're going to go ahead and blend it up slowly. Okay, so now we're going to take our blended cream sauce. And we're just going to put it back in the same pan that you sauteed your garlic and onion in, because we just want to heat it through. And this is the fun part, because here you kind of get to taste it. If you're trying to cut back on salt, you may not want to add salt at this point, but if you like a little bit of extra flavor, maybe some garlic powder, go ahead and add it at this point. This is really up to you now. I think you've got a great base for delicious, tasty cream sauce, and now you can really make it come to life. I like to add some fresh black pepper while that's heating up. Also like to add some fresh red pepper flakes to give it that little bit of an Italian flavor. Now for the best part of this whole experience. We're gonna plate this. I've added some sea salt to the fettuccine to give it just a little bit more flavor, and also some freshly milled garlic here. And that really just gave it the extra kick and pep that it needed. Now serve our fettuccine. And you can just drizzle the sauce. Now some of us like this more like a soup where you've got more sauce than you do noodles. That's totally up to you. Good thing here is that it's not actual cheese, and it's very high in protein and low in fat because you're using the tofu. Our pecan crusted chicken, and I'm going to some freshly ground pepper and a little bit of Parmesan. And there you go.